What feedback do you have for local food businesses and international food chains looking to enter our market?
For local food business, consistency. That's the only piece of advice or a suggestion, because where we really fail locally is providing consistency. Uh, you know, there are very rare brands that you would see in Pakistan that has survived a decade. Very few brands. And primarily we basically fail because of consistency. When we expand, what happens is, and this is a struggle for KFC also, but the good part of KFC is that you have such strong systems and processes and systems in place that it becomes easier. When the locals, they expand, they basically lose that because you don't really have strong systems and processes in place. So I think consistency is a piece of suggestion. For the international food ventures to come in, I think there's a huge market. It's a 200 million population market. It's a younger 60 or say 70 odd percent is a young population, which is actually growing up with social media. So there's a very high desire of food, all the trendier things that are actually happening globally. So is the trend in Pakistan as well. So there's a huge potential for all the international food players and or even the local food players. They're actually growing significantly well too. There's a huge space. Pakistan food market is still underpenetrated. There is a lot of retail food space available, so it can really, just to give you an example, the food inventory or the restaurant inventory of Dubai is perhaps around 14,000 restaurants in Dubai, and the population size is around 2 million. Whereas we are a 200 million population and our food inventory or restaurant inventory is just around 6,000 restaurants. So you can see that there is a very, very large space available. So, I would definitely advise all the international food chains and local food chains also that they have a huge runway to run, and they can definitely come into Pakistan and grow.
How did KFC cope with the pandemic and the toll it took on the business?
So pandemic was hard. Pandemic was hard as at one point we had actually gone down to zero business because everything was being shut down. Not even delivery was being allowed. But I'm happy or gladly we were able to kind of sit with the government and make them understand that delivery is a very safer operations of business, and let us continue with that. It was been adopted globally. There was no really kind of a halt or a pause on delivery globally, and we were able to sit down with the government and then set a certain SOPs and work around, and then we were allowed to kind of operate in at least for the delivery. We survived better in pandemic versus a lot of other smaller food joints because we already had a very strong delivery footprint, and since the entire business has actually shifted on delivery, so since we were equipped to kind of go in and operate in that space, we performed, and I think we survived better also. For the other smaller food joints, it was really terrible. It was hard for them. For us also. So one part was, yes, we were equipped, but we were not equipped to this kind of a size of volume also, because when your entire business has shifted from your dine-in and takeaway has evaporated or disappeared, and then you were only been servicing in delivery. There was a lot of volume coming in delivery. We had to really kind of strengthen that up, revise our model completely in a very, in a week's time. That was also a very, very hard call. But I think if I look at from a totality point of view, we were still better off. As I said, that we were already quite equipped on delivery and quite equipped on technology as well. So the smaller brands, they basically struggled on two parts. One, they were not technology enabled, and then they were not that strong in delivery footprint as well. The third element which other food joints also struggled, which we had a better or ease, KFC's food is very deliverable. So, and that's what the advantage is with the QSR business. So they struggled less. be it us or be it QSR competition, versus the casual dinings or fast casual dinings, because their food is not really deliverable. So there was a shift of their volume also on our side. So we survived better, but it was a struggling time. It was a struggling time for the teams also, because there was a lot of pressure on them from a safety health point of view, from their well-being point of view. So there were stringent processes and systems that we had put in place on health, safety and well-being, and alhamdulillah we did fairly well, and I guess that's what KFC kind of addressed to the COVID.
What's been your proudest moment since you've joined KFC?
Every day is a proudest moment, because we are, so the initial 2 years when we came in, KFC was really going south, and we had to really kind of work absolutely hard to put the fundamentals right and to put in strong foundation in place. So every day, whatever small steps that we were taking in to get the brand in the right place, I think that was really making me proud. But I think the real proudest thing that I kind of cherish or I enjoy is the team that I've been able to develop. That really makes you very proud when you see people working so hard. What really makes you proud is the amount of impact that we have been able to make on people's life. Especially, I don't know if you know about the deaf project that we run. We run deaf school, we employ them as well. There's a good amount of work that we have done on diversity. We are encouraging women to come in, work, have a bike, do deliveries as well. We have got especially women-run restaurants in Lahore. So all dedicatedly being run by females, from manager to everybody, in the restaurant. So I think these are all the things that really, so the people part really is that makes you really proud what we have been able to do. We have been able to create a fantastic team. We've been able to give them a great environment for working, and the diversity and inclusion part, that we do a phenomenal job. That really makes you happy, because work is, it's fine. You do well, you get happy. But I think the most importantly that makes a human being, or should make human being proud and contented, is when you kind of impact other people's life and you're able to kind of bring in some good to their lives and change their lives. I think that makes you happy and contented. So people part is really that makes me happy.
That's great. What principles have you used to maintain the largest food retail network in the country?
What principles? Principle is it's just that, you got to, so we got to really be good with everything that we do. Not even good, we got to really be great in everything that we do. I think we are striving really hard, working hard to get executional excellence. That's the name of game that I use very commonly in my day-to-day work as well. That whatever that we do it with excellence, and that's how we have really been able to move the needle of KFC. I don't say that we are all the way to great, but we are really improving significantly well. And I think excellence, bringing excellence to whatever that you're doing and executing excellence, I think that's going to keep us or give the edge towards our competition.
What's your daily routine like, and what do you like to do when you step out of the CEO zone?
I run, I walk, I swim, and and socialize. So I think that's 3-4 things that when I step out of the CEO, you can't really step out of the CEO, but it's just that when you step out of the work zone, right, and then you kind of really want to be easy, you just have to unwind and kind of make yourself more comfortable. I think that's what so the techniques, there's no techniques, but basically I like to run, I like to walk. Swim is something that I really love, so I enjoy my swimming, and I socialize quite a lot, so that keeps me kind of occupied with apart from the work.
someone who knows you quite well were to describe you using one word, what would that be?
That he laughs very loud.
Okay.
I think that's.
Well, do you have a message that you would like to give out to the viewers or anything special you would want to say?
I don't know whether people are. Generally, I don't see the younger generation very much inclined to take views or suggestions. Now, nobody, not even your own children, would be excited to take your suggestions or your views. But the advice is just that, hard work pays, and be persistent. I think, and there has to be hunger in you. If you really want to change anything about your own self or about your future or about that, hunger has to come from your belly. So if you are hungry, if you don't really want to settle for mediocrity, if that's what your mind and goal is, I think you can really make a change in your own career, in your own life. I think that's the message.
Well, thank you so much. This has been great.